Got traffic there. Last there, just take it up to the departure end of the runway, then a left turn and a lowest downwind. Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down, low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed, there you go, go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final, you're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold, take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final, runway 9er clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine.
Oh, we have one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see. What we got? A tricycle. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger. Down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here. You cleared land on 9 all the way to the white dot. Go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway, and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern, or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. You do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow on the final. And as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to resequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard's got the jet in sight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, here on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around. Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that. After 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep it.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, three, two, one.
Hello.
Hello. welcome to the Thursday live stream. Thank you very much for joining us. As you will have noticed, Johnny is not here. He's poorly, not feeling very well. So we have Annabelle as the stunt Johnny tonight. I noticed that Annabelle's the only other member of the team who's made an exceptional effort to put their Christmas decorations on. Otherwise, the two, wherever they are, I can't figure that one out. Humbug Grinches or whatever they are just deciding.
It's December the 7th. It's far too early.
It's 50, and there's 50% of you with antlers. That's surely good enough for the viewers.
It's really good sparkles and glitter and stuff.
Get with the program. It's Christmas.
Did you do your nails as well, Ian?
Of course you did.
Not so much. Yeah, no, got to admit. Right. Anyway, thank you very much. The weather's pants out there, isn't it? I know Simon's going to give us weather forecast later, and I could probably sum that up as largely pants, and with less pants in a couple of places, but more pants in others. But anyway, that's enough of that. First things first. Thank you very, very much, Sky Demon, for supporting the live stream. We couldn't do it without you. We all know what a great app Sky Demon is. And here, excuse me, got to finish my cold first. That is this week's tip. There you go.
Hi, I'm Rob from Sky Demon, and here's another top tip. You may not be aware of this, but with Sky Demon you can have easy access to all AIP documents, not just those associated with a particular airfield. In the Airfields tab, look up at the top for National AIPs, choose your country, and then search in the sections for the document you're looking for. If you don't know the chapter number you're looking for, you can search for a title in the search bar, like so. For more information, check out our website www.skydemon.aero.
You've got to say that the AIP feature on Sky Demon is not its most exciting feature at all.
It
could even be its dullest feature. However, it's one of the most important and useful features for those of us who can't go to bed at night without reading it. No, it's a seriously good thing. Download the AIPs for your country and explore them. And if you don't know, if you're setting your aviation adventure, you'll notice that all AIPs are largely structured the same, really. So once you can find your way around one, you can find your way around the other.
If you spend some time and watch all the Sky Demon top tips, I think people will probably quadruple their knowledge.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, I expect some of the people who are taking part in Fly 2023 have been looking at those Sky Demon tips, because there's an awful lot of people contributing now. You've got just 3 weeks left to take part. If you can see there that the challenge this year was to fly 2,023 minutes, visit 23 airfields. Doesn't have to be all brand new airfields, but some people have done that. And then write about it in the Flyer forum, thread, post, whatever you call them. I don't know. I never do these. Anyway, write about it in the Flyer forum thread about Fly 2023. And at the end of the year, we'll have a little judging competition.
Fantastic.
With it. And we might even, at the beginning of next year, we'll tell you about next year's annual competition.
As you can guess, it might be called Fly 2024.
I think we can probably release that fact early.
Yeah, but it's not what you imagine it's going to be.
Well, you never know. Do you?
Oh, wow. Well, the African Eagle's doing well. He said, I'm missing 6 airfields. I'm to get to 23, well, what will that be? 23 minus 6, 17 airfields? That's good going for a year.
That's mainly because I bet African Eagle only goes to airfields with good food. Bad food. Talking of which, I just have to say, African Eagle, I wasn't around last week, obviously, but you would have told African Eagle that he won the T-shirt competition.
Yes.
And yesterday or today, I can't remember which, his T-shirt from Trevor Bailey arrived in a nice box. So that will be added to with his one-off only currently Flyer T-shirt. He'll be the only person in the world to wear that unless it becomes popular, in which case we'll make some more. Will be winging its way to you. They might not make it for Christmas, so you might have to have a not so bueno Natale or whatever it is you say in Italy. So that'll be on its way soon. So well done, Africa.
Yeah. So do we have any weather? Have we got news from the shirt?
News from the shirt? We have. In fact, it might be a jumper tonight. It might be a jumper.
It's
a Christmas jumper. Someone else who got into the.
You missed out last week. Simon pitched up pre live stream in a very Christmassy style jumper, and we were so unfair, so mean to him. He changed into a shirt before the broadcast.
That's probably why he's not live tonight. He's probably still wounded, isn't he? Oh, sorry.
Really.
Oh, mate, I've got to wash my hair. Anyway, here you go. Weather.
Evening all. Hope this evening finds you well. Sorry I can't be with you live this evening, but I'm sure you're being looked after just superbly. I've got the weekend weather for you though. Before we get onto that, remember this chart from last week where I showed you where the air was coming from, and it was coming out of the east last week, bringing us those really cold conditions. Well, this week it's a complete change. All of the air, both the high and the medium level air, is coming in from the west. The lower level air kind of just circulating around the UK. But it shows us how we're now out of that cold weather and back into more of an Atlantic flow. But that means that we've got an unsettled weekend for flying ahead. This is Friday. Actually, tomorrow doesn't look bad across central and eastern areas of the country in the morning. However, things deteriorate from the west in the afternoon. We are going to find rain in the morning across Northern Ireland, so non-verifiable here. And rain gets into western Scotland, western Wales and southwest England by the end of the morning. Now, during the afternoon, that rain spills eastwards and it becomes pretty windy in the west at the same time that it brightens up. So a deteriorating situation as we get through Friday afternoon, but okay in the east early on. Now, on to Saturday. Fronts tracking their way northwards and eastwards during the course of Saturday. Some pretty hefty rain across southern parts of Scotland, northern England and eastern England on Saturday morning. That will be clearing away, but it's replaced by strong winds. Look how close together the isobars are. Gusts of 40 to 45 knots, perhaps higher on coasts. Okay for central and northern parts of Scotland, but generally, I think, despite that brightness coming through for England, Wales and much of Ireland, I actually think Saturday's not a particularly great day. Sunday, low pressure in control again. You could almost say that's the same chart as Saturday. More fronts moving their way northwards and eastwards, taking periods of rain with them. Probably okay for central and northern Scotland at first, brighter here. And perhaps, just perhaps, getting better across Wales, across western parts of the Midlands, southwestern parts of England during the course of Sunday afternoon. But critical how on the timing of this front, so just watch the forecast carefully. So not that much flying to be found this weekend. Briefest of weather windows. Keep your eye on the forecast. But if you want to spot the weather windows yourself, I've just announced a classroom-based aviation weather school part 1 here at Weather School HQ in Wombourne. It'd be super to see you here on Saturday the 6th of January between 10 AM and 4 PM. You can book your place now at weatherschool.co.uk. The price includes everything: lunch, refreshments and me. What more could you possibly want? So as I say, perfect Christmas present, and it's booking up now at weatherschool.co.uk. Okay, I'll leave you with that for now. Have a fantastic and a safe weekend. Fingers crossed that you get at least some flying in, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Yeah, that's not the greatest forecast.
No.
It's sad, and we took the mickey out of his shirt, and he was like so nice to us, saying everyone looks after well by us. I'm feeling. I think next week, if Simon's alive next week, we should have a Pamper Simon evening.
Okay.
Not literally or anything.
I did like his Christmas. I did like his Christmas jumper.
Yeah. Whatever he wears next week, we're gonna build it. We're gonna tell him it's amazing.
Very good.
Yeah.
Mark Jackson took a guess about Fly 2024. He said, is it 24 new passengers in 2024? You'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good things come to those who wait, apparently.
Yes. Annabelle.
Yes. So, question of the week: who is here tonight? Who is planning to fly on the 17th of December? Because it is the 120th anniversary of the Wright brothers' flight at Keyhawk. And we know there's one person here who can't do maths, so I'll just say that was 1903. I did nip online earlier to see if I could book the aeroplane, and the club aircraft is having its engine removed next week.
The story of your life, Annabelle.
Engines, but that's the third one, so I'm good. So that's 2 aeroplanes and a car. I've had my 3.
I'm gonna try and fly. Skycrow asks, "Is David dressing gown?"
This is a very expensive overshirt from Froome.
Is that the new name for dressing gown?
Well, it could be, I suppose.
Is it a house coat?
It's actually a bit itchy. It might have to come off.
Can we turn this camera off?
Right.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
who's doing the Fly Club?
Yeah, can we move it on? Oh, that's me. That's me. Oh yeah, talking of engine overhauls, cheaper than one of those by a very long way. Have you joined the Fly Club? If not, why not? Just a handful of change a week. You can access all the Fly material, including the Wednesday afternoon Skype streams, the webinars, Skype streams. I know, I made it up. You like it? You can use it. Next webinar coming up for members is Tuesday. John Cook, no relation, is going to be here to have all the answers to your myriad of questions on licensing. And if you do manage to go flying at the weekend, whether that's forwards or backwards, there's some free landing fees this month: Falmere, Henstridge, Taton Hill, Perth, and Halteney Green.
Excellent. Pretty good. So no, seriously, people, it's Christmas. Buy someone a membership. It's only £5 a month. It's got to be worth it.
That's it. Flyer team fashion designer James May. It's harsh, Mike.
It's a bit harsh. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right. News time. Ed, I think let me tee up my pictures ready to accompany these news stories with a selection of fine photos.
Okay. You're right. Me with the first story, because it's a big one this week, and that's that Vans Aircraft has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy to protect the company while it reorganises and sorts out its debts. Obviously, we heard a few weeks ago from Dick Van Grunsven that the company was facing financial challenges, and in a video that was released on Monday night, Dick Van Grunsven explained that the purpose of Chapter 11 filing is to allow Vans to continue to provide ongoing support for its customers, suppliers, and employees for many years to come. He said, "We understand that this situation creates a hardship for everyone involved. However, without these changes, we do not see a viable path forward that would allow Vans Aircraft to remain in business and support its customers." So it's, but probably not really a surprise to anyone. It was kind of all pointing towards this, and it's, hopefully it allows several things to happen that will allow them to continue servicing their customers like they hope. But there's a lot to be sorted. Vans statement, they said their goal is to start shipping replacement parts to customers this month, and to complete the delivery of replacement parts to all the impacted customers of the laser cut parts issue before the end of 2024. There's 1,800 customers involved in that. And the laser cut parts issue, you'll probably recall if you read our story online, is just one of a number of things that combined to make a difficult, challenging world for Vans. So interestingly, in the documentation, which someone online ferreted out, which was filed for the Chapter 11, we learned that Vans' biggest creditor was Lycoming, which I saw a reference to online elsewhere, where someone at Lycoming said Vans is our #1 customer. So Vans owe them $600,000. What we do know as well is that customers with open parts orders will face price increases, and Vans have said that the filings say that customers will be contacted and asked to confirm the revised pricing. What that does mean, though, is that if you don't choose not to accept the new prices, and we hear that's happening in mid-January, then your order will be cancelled and you'll just join the queue of unsecured creditors of the bankruptcy estate. So, whereas if you do accept the new pricing, it looks like your deposit or any deposits you paid is safe. So with the one final bit of information, we learned that overall, Dick Van Groensven and his wife have put in nearly $11 million to the company since August 2021. The most recent of that was $2 million in late October. And the documentation also seems to say that the Van Groensvens appear ready to loan the company an additional $6 million to help fund post-petition operations. It's quite a biggie, this one.
Yeah.
That's a chunk of change, isn't it?
But yeah.
Even for you, Ed, that's a chunk of change. There's a lot going on, a lot for all sorts of people to process. There's 33 customers in the UK who are on the list of people who've got orders in, who are going to see their prices change for things they've ordered. Affecting people the world over. Hopefully, there will be a path. We had a bit of a longer chat about that on the live stream, on the Skype stream, as Annabelle calls it, the Skype stream yesterday. So that's members only. So we do get a chance to talk a little bit more off the record and behind the scenes a little bit there. So if you remember, join us on a Wednesday. Right, next story, BMAA partners with J&B. J&B, as you remember, are the manufacturers of the VL3 sleek-looking carbon fiber retractable gear, 600 kilogram microlight. That's kind of all the rage at Friedrichshafen. It looks fast. It is fast. I think it's probably like 160 knot aircraft, depending on the engine. And you get a choice between like 100, effectively 912 IS, the 915, and the 916 is even going to go in it. So that 160 horsepower. That's going to be a bit of a beast, I thought. Anyway, so. There was a little while ago, they took a look at the UK and decided not to partake in the UK, but I think the 600 kilogram microlight kind of thing has helped them out. So they are working with the BMAA. There is no timescale set for these things, as ever. I'm not entirely sure what the word partnership means in this context. So maybe Rob from the BMAA, Rob Hughes, will tell us about that at some point in the future. But effectively, the word on the street is look out for some big news at the Microlight Trade Fair, which is at Popham in normally May bank holiday, I think, April, May time.
Right. I think one of the big takeaways from this is probably, though, that the fact that BMAA seem to be doing so well with 600 kg microlights, I think the CAA have kind of given them a bit more flexibility and control. So I think this is J&B are probably one of the people to benefit from this.
There's no one else in town, really, when it comes to 600 kg microlights. So well done, BMAA, for doing that.
Yeah, Paul Kiddell says that it's not really a partnership. They're using BMAA route for approval, he says.
Yeah, the word partnership was used.
Was used many times, wasn't it, in the press release? Yeah.
So since we copied it, so I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's a bromance, whatever that is in aviation terms. Who knows? Dave?
Yes, so we have a new British aircraft. Earlier this week, Hill Helicopters unveiled their all-new single-engine turbine helicopter, 5-seater. They call it the HX50. They also unveiled another one called the HC50, which is meant to be commercial. The HX will be a kit plane. It won't be a certified aeroplane. You'll be building it. Builders will be building it at the factory with the help of engineers. Supposed to take only 10 days. So it sounds like an assembly job. Whereas the HC50 will be a proper certified to EASA standards and CAA standards for commercial use. The most amazing thing about this helicopter, I mean, a single engine turbine helicopter is not brand new. There's at least 3 good ones out there. But the most amazing thing about the Hill one is that almost every single part is made by them. They've designed and made the airframe. They've designed and made and they're developing the engine, the turbine. They call it the GT50. Maximum power is 500 shaft horsepower. And it also, amazingly, installing their own avionics. I mean, that's quite a chunk of work to take on for anybody. If you look at the 3 existing single-engine turbine helicopters out there, Bell 505, Robinson R66, and the Airbus H125, all of those manufacturers, big manufacturers with tons of resources, they've all opted to make their own airframe, but import the engine and avionics from other manufacturers. it's a really brave thing that Hill Helicopters is doing, and we'll have to see how they get on.
Yeah, it's very yeah. From the outside looking in, it seems incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
So, even there were a few gaffes in the video, which I'm sure we can't talk about.
We're going to wait and see if they appear in the edited version, and then we'll see.
The live stream.
If you get a chance to watch the live stream, the Hill live stream, it's probably worth watching. So
this little bit takes across my thing. So I was kind of like, they're building their own brand new turbine engine, which they're going to have to certify, which as yet hasn't run. They're building their gearbox, they're building their airframe, they're building their own avionics, all of which they've written and designed and everything else. And they're selling it for $595,000. The first ones were even cheaper than that. They've got something like just under 1,000 orders, apparently.
So, yes, 700 orders, I think.
No, I think it's 900 and something now.
Yeah.
It is. I can tell you the exact number. 978 orders. First 100 were probably, we believe, at 295k, and then the next one's 395, 495, and they're now at 595. Now, it's a big thing for any manufacturer to come out with a new aircraft. It's a big thing for any manufacturer to come out with a new turbine engine and gearbox. It's a big thing for any manufacturer to come out with avionics, all of which needs certifying if it's in the commercial world. It's supposed to do 140 knots. It's got, I don't know, a huge baggage area, which we saw on the live stream, and quite a lot of payload. 4 seats. It's a, and they're talking about starting operations in 18 months' time. I think some of them are even deliveries in 18 months' time. I don't know. Those numbers.
There's a lot to comprehend there. But as Dr. Jason Hill, this has been his thing for 20 odd years, and one thing that pops out a lot is he said the HX50 is like the greatest hits of helicopter of the last of everything that's been done. He said while he's innovating in certain areas, he keeps saying that he's taking all the best ideas from the world of helicopter design and just putting it in one helicopter. So
he's a bit of a rock star amongst the current and future customers, no doubt. Ed, you'll know this, and if you don't know this, there may even be someone out there watching who'll know this. When was the last time that a helicopter manufacturer designed an airframe, a powertrain, including gearbox, a brand new engine, brand new avionics, certified it and delivered it for less than the price of anything that's currently out there? Or even forget the price. When did anyone deliver it regardless of price?
Yeah, I think that may never have happened. But
I think it may. And I don't want to talk it down, but honestly, you have to look at these things and you use your experience and knowledge. Let's get in touch with him, see if we can go see what he says. Let's give him a chance to.
Mike Roberts, who is a trained aerospace design engineer, does say that the concern about new engine and airframe is a fear from earlier days. Don't underestimate modern tech design to achieve trouble-free development. Fair comment, Mike.
Fair comment, although, yeah.
Erotique said, Bristol Sycamore, that was probably less than £575,000. That was a long time ago, though, Darren. And it had wooden manufactured fabric-covered blades.
Don't get me wrong. If they succeed and they hit their numbers, then they would have pulled off something amazing, and I really hope they do pull it off.
Paul Fraser-Benison's that's a bit of a blinder. Rightly points out that the Rotorway exec was Rotorway's own helicopter, Rotorway's own engine, gearbox, not their own avionics for the full house, but that is a good suggestion.
Good point, Paul. Well, in that case, I'm going to crawl back under my rock and move on to the next news story.
Anyway, we wish Hill well. So.
Yeah.
We do. That's it. Annabelle, give us the news of something rock solid that's here today.
Right, so the BWPA has recently announced the winners of this year's scholarships worth up to £2,000 each. 9 winners were chosen for Flying Start scholarships, and those are for new pilots to achieve their first license. And 7 were awarded for Flying High for gaining further qualifications. There were over 100 applicants this year, and the winners include this lovely lady in the photograph, Bev, who was a paraglider pilot who took up fixed wing flying after an accident, a woman with cerebral Halsey, a woman working towards her commercial balloon license, and a private pilot who wants to fly seaplanes commercially. So a really good mix of applicants and winners this year. I do actually want to add a quick note of thanks to the sponsors, because they make a big difference to the number of scholarships that the BWPA can offer. And that this year that included Sky Demon, the LEA, Poolies, my mother, and Flyer.
I was not expecting your name in that list.
No, I wasn't expecting it either.
All right.
But she did, in fact, sponsor a scholarship this year in memory of my dad. Which is a really nice thing to do.
Amazing. Well done, Annabelle's mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Excellent. Right, Dave.
Yes, I'm conscious of the time ticking away. So this is a very quick news that the Home Office has won the court case about turning Scampton into an asylum seekers centre. It doesn't mean it's going to go ahead, because apparently the local council that took out the case in the first place, West Lynn, the district council in Lincolnshire, they may be appealing. And the judge who made the case, who judged the case, said there are grounds to appeal. I don't quite know how that works, but anyway. So that appears to be going ahead at the moment, but it's still got a way to run.
Okay, I'll be really quick with the next story. TBM basically at the end of November took off and flew with this. It's TBM 900 series aircraft of one or kind or another. It's got 3 distributed electric engines on side. It still had PT6. It generated onboard power from batteries and a turbine generator, and they flew for 100 minutes. Who knows what that will lead to? Although I could take a guess.
Is it? Yes. Is it TBM greenwashing there? TBM.
I don't know. There are so many. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on before I get in trouble.
I haven't got time for a rant.
And very, very quick one. I haven't got time for any lawsuits. A very quick one. Aerovolt had a good year, increasing their electric distribution stuff throughout the south, mainly. 2 new ones coming, Hen Street and Dunk as well. They hope to have 40 by the end of 2024. And they recently tried a proof of charging concept where they flew from Sandown to Shoreham, which is only 38 miles, but it appeared to work, and they charged when they got there and flew back again, I believe. So there you go. So early steps, but if you're in the south and you've got an electric aeroplane, which is probably about almost none of you out there, I would say.
Small audience, I guess.
You'll be able to charge away. Right, moving on. Dave, quick one on APN.
Yes, this is the story is about the Northumbria APN trials. This is a drone trial that's going to go around the northern east of Newcastle. There's a consultation, and the deadline for comments is tomorrow, Friday the 8th. So if you want to comment on that and say anything, this is the second consultation. This one is about the changes that they've made. You may remember that it first came out last summer. There was a big fuss about it, and we published a great deal on it, thanks to Paul Kiddell. And there's been some serious changes to make it work. So this consultation is about the revised version, but the deadline is tomorrow, so you need to get on with it, really. I can see that Ed has already put the link in. That's a link to the feedback form. And on that feedback form, if you need to remind yourself about what's happening, you can either connect to the airspace site, or you can look at the pilot story. I almost said pilot story. Pilot story.
Oh my God! Well, I'm about to delete you and kick you off the live stream. Ed, 20 seconds on the last story.
Okay, to round up, it's you may remember YouTuber Trevor Jacob, he who jumped out of a Taylor craft after the engine stopped. Where he's just starting a 6-month jail sentence following that stunt. He took a plea deal in a protracted case, pleaded guilty to 1 count of destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation. Basically, he went and got the wreckage and then cut it up into little pieces with a friend and then threw it into various bins so that the NTSB could never investigate. And if you play silly games, then you win big prizes. So and that's
enjoying a whole bunch of new friends right now.
Yes, who knows? But anyway, yeah, YouTuber in jail for dark stuff.
Absolutely right. Our guest tonight is Neil Tucker. Neil Tucker is a trustee with Airability, the charity we all love to love. Let me bring him on. And Ed, I'm going to ask you to do your magic and
I can do that.
rearrange the world.
Yeah, there we go.
Hang on. So there you go. That's right. Neil, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for being patient in the green room. Hope it was comfortable in there. I'm not sure how many people out there know your story. I kind of discovered it from doing a bit of research and looking at some little videos and stuff like that. So perhaps you'd like to kick off by just kind of telling us, well, not the whole story about how you came to be sitting where you are talking.
Just, baby boy.
just the key elements and the fairly not pleasant story, should we say, at the beginning?
Yeah, of course. I just want to say thanks for inviting me along tonight to chat with you all of you out there in the World Wide Web as well. Yeah, it's great not to see you, but to know that you're there watching this channel. As all of you, I guess, lifelong passion for aeroplanes, and you can see sort of pictures of planes behind me. What you can't see is the 150 odd Corgi model jets, Phantoms, Buccaneers, etc. in front of me. So I've always been an absolute propeller head, and I did a flying scholarship when I was 17. And for one reason or another, long story short, you get into life and get married and you get other priorities in life. I didn't fly for a period of something 30 odd years. And in September 2014, I went out for a quick ride on my motorbike. I had 3 motorbikes at the time. Love my motorbikes, always have them. And a quick ride and a sausage sandwich with a mate of mine up in Oxfordshire. And that quick ride went from an hour's ride to 6 months in hospital. So I was going from here. I lived just south of Reading on my Italian sports bike, which I was quite frankly scared of, up to get a sausage sandwich in Oxfordshire. And I was pranged by the good old-fashioned, sorry, mate, I didn't see you. Chap pulled out me from my left-hand side. I was doing 40 miles an hour, all the spine protectors, all the helmets, all the leathers, all that. And I was catapulted some 70 to 80 feet through the air down the road. Bike was pretty badly smashed up, and so was the car. The car took a hell of a bang. And I ended up in hospital, and I was there for 6 months. I was in a coma for a month. I lost the use of my left arm, so this arm is like wet spaghetti. It won't ever recover, because where I landed on my neck, on my head, a neck like that, broke my neck, and it ripped the nerves out of my spine. So that's the nerves that control your hand. I lost my left leg as well, so I've got a tin leg on the left. And now that I'm so cheap, I'm borrowing my wife's glasses. I'm finally admitting that I need glasses. The only good thing about my body now is my right leg. Everything else has got. So I've got 44 screws in my left hip. I've got a hip replacement. I've got a hole in my skull still. I've got halitosis. Yeah, it's quite a catalogue of injuries. And I was in hospital in John Radcliffe in Oxfordshire for 6 months. What you do, you're looking up at the sky for all that period, and you come across a guy by the name of Brian Shaw. I'm sure you've all heard the LA Speed story, and found his backstory, and the fact that he was a T-28 pilot in Vietnam, and he got shot down. He was horrifically burned, and his story going from the hospital through towards flying again and flying the Blackbird, And so that sort of seed in my mind, and then I discovered this wonderful charity called Airability on the internet. And then fast forward to September 2018, to October 2018, I took my first flight with Airability. Now, you got to bear in mind that we all know that aviation it's a risky occupation. So why load the dice by jumping into an aircraft if you're not fit enough to fly, healthy enough to fly, or frankly safe enough to fly? And I was neither of those until late 2018. So it was a good 4-year recovery process. And even now, I'm still have to work hard on the PT. You can see the bikes behind me, which I use for workout to keep my legs going. And really, honestly, my life changed. And they talk about, you see these accident emergency programs, they see he's got a life-changing injury. Yeah, admittedly, losing a leg and the use of an arm and a hole in the head and all that sort of stuff, as well as a really cool F bum cheek, is really impressive. It's not just that's the life-changing for me, but discovering Airability allowed me the platform to my next chapter of my life, and it absolutely took me from a very dark corner. You got to think of this. I joined the Navy at 17 and a half. I've been working every day of my life since I was that age. Very much a charge sort of person. Come on. If I'm not doing something, I want to be doing something. Always want to build a career, build my life. And all of a sudden, bang, that's taken away from you. You lose your job, you lose your company, you lose a significant amount of money when your company went under. You lost the ability to earn a crust. You're relying on your wonderful wife who saved your life to go out and earn the money to pay the mortgage. And you start getting to a very, very dark place. And typical 70s guy, you don't whinge about it, get on with it. But mental health was something that I never really looked into. But I did realize that I was in a very dark place. I'd lost a lot of things, and I didn't know what I was going. And besides that, daytime TV 24/7. It's enough to make anybody lose the will to live, isn't it? And so, airability then came, and I started flying with them. And obviously, flying with a disability, regardless of what your disability is, you have to adopt a degree of different strategies to able-bodied pilots. And they were able to help me with those strategies. But then as I went on, the more I realized that my skills, my business skills, my history were of use. And I wanted to contribute more. So whereas all my life had all been about me, career, airability then has instilled in me this whole idea of it's all about somebody else now, and so I'm privileged to be a trustee of the charity now, and that means that I'm able to help be a small part in the wheel that changes other people's lives. About 1,000 people a year is what we fly now, and it has literally changed my life. Get to fly with the great and good, get to turn myself upside down and make people sick. It's just wonderful. What else would you want to do?
You don't turn yourself upside down in the airability Cherokee, do you?
Well, you can, but apparently you can do it once. No, so I've got a bulldog, which I'm hoping to let airability use this year to take people for flight training in. We've had a whole lot of paper sitting behind that to try and sort it out to get it, because it's on a permit to get airability to use it. But when I was looking for a plane, all I wanted was a Chipmunk. That was the first plane I flew. Well, I'm sure for most of us, rare cadets, the first plane we flew, except for Annabelle, because she's much too young. But that's all I wanted until I went and saw one and realized that over the 35, 40 years, either I'd got bigger or the cockpit had got smaller. Probably the other way around. And really, I knew I wanted the charity to use it. I knew that it had to be a bit of a tour, it had to be a bit aerobatic, and I knew it had to be robust because it has to be forgiving of prosthetic limbs and wheelchairs and all that sort of stuff. And the Chipmunk just isn't that at all. So it ended up as a bulldog, and by God, it absolutely is. The ticks all those boxes. It does most things pretty well.
You've done a lot of hours now, haven't you, Neil, in total?
Yeah, so I came to airability with a grand total of 56 hours. But bearing in mind the last time I flew would have been in the Royal Navy. That was sort of 19, 20 years of age. And I was a different person now, going through all this accident that I've been through, and also 50 odd years of age. You're not the same gung-ho 18-year-old buccaneer wannabe pilot that you were all those years ago. So I came at it with a degree of, I guess, trepidation, because you can't be knocked off a motorbike and almost killed without seeing the danger and everything, the risk and everything. But it also allows you to literally thank God for what you do have. And my word, yeah, it's an addiction a bit. And I came in with 56 hours, and I just hit 400 about a week ago, flying the Warriors, the Bulldogs, and the Cherokees. Oh, by the way, if anybody knows the Cherokee PA-32 for sale, airability is dying to have one. We've lost one a couple of years ago, and it really is an asset that we really miss as a charity. So if anybody knows the PA-32 going for sale, please get in touch with us. So yeah, 400 hours later, and I'm looking at the various other ratings now, and it's just non-stop for me. The plane goes in for its annual tomorrow. That's the only time I stop, really.
So that's 400 hours. I mean, that you had COVID in between there, and there was clearly not.
That's a very good point. Yeah, so I lost a year to COVID, and well, I was quite lucky because there's a story behind it that I bought. It was in Australia. So 6 of us went over via Bangkok to Australia. 6 50-plus-year-old men who got permission off their wives to go over to Australia. And yeah, but you don't realize you're doing these things. It's a trip of a lifetime. It was all being made possible by air ability. It just wouldn't have happened, all these life moments. And the Bulldog came back, and as Boris shut us down, it was literally landing in Felixstowe. Lucky enough, the guys that put it back together again were able to work during lockdown, so the plane was going back together, albeit very, very slowly. So it was a year to get it back together again. So in that period, I was now and again I was going up to sort of peer through the glass and look at my plane and polish the propeller and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was a year until I could actually fly it. And then that was the beginning of 22. Hang on. Tell a lie. I took delivery in 2022. So yeah, it was 18 months putting it back together. Meanwhile, I was flying the Warriors and that from Air Ability.
Did you have you adapted you must have adapted your Bulldog?
Interestingly enough, so the Warriors and the Cessnas and all the GA stuff that we all love to fly, I fly completely unadapted. So on the Warrior, it's got the handbrake is down underneath the instrument panel. That's a handbrake as well as a parking brake, and I tend to use that for braking when I come in on the runway. Also, I can get my left heel onto the top of the toe brake. So should I want to do any differential braking, I can do that as well. But the main brake on the Warrior is that, and that's all I need. So when I'm coming down on approach, my hands on the stick, it's got the throttle stick, throttle trim, then the carb, dancing back and forth. My usual trick is as I'm coming in with a new passenger, I'll say, I haven't quite got the hang of this yet. They go, no, put your hand back on the wheel. But the Bulldog does have a modification for me, and that wouldn't have been possible without the LAA. It's a sterling job there. And what I've got is a handbrake, which is off an Icarus C42. And it's a motorbike handbrake, basically, and it's on the control column. But the only reason I need that is because the Bulldog doesn't have a handbrake. It's got a parking brake. So you've got to energize the pedals first and then lock the brake on for parking. Now, I can't do that. Obviously, I can't energize the left foot. And it's not a safe braking system for barring down a runway at 60 or 70 knots. So the handbrake and the combination of the toe brake under the right foot gives me the ability to control just as you would, just as anybody else would. So that's the only adaptation that I've got at the moment. I'd like to do formation stuff, but for any of you who have formation, you need to have your hands on the throttle at the same time. So there's a potential mod coming up there to get the throttle on the stick as well, but that's at some point in the future.
How would you do that, Neil? Is that end up being possibly a twist grip or something? Or
well, you see a lot of people who live with paraplegia. Arthur Williams, you're probably aware of Arthur flying a Piper Cub. He's got a twist throttle, I believe, on his stick. I guess it's personal choice because some people like the twist throttle. There are some people that you can get like a trigger with a Hall effect sensor. Think of a servo from a radio control plane, that servo controlling the throttle as well. But it gets quite complicated then. And I've learned one thing in that it's very easy to walk up with the LAA and say, oh, I've got a great idea for a mod, right? But even the simplest mods can go Pete Tong. I during the testing period of the braking system, we had the thing let go of pressure, to change the valve. So, and that was a relatively simple system. Imagine something that's really complicated and the proving that will need and the testing that will need. And also you're putting your life in the hands of something that could go wrong. And I'm quite risk averse. Funny that, isn't it? It's really strange, isn't it? But it flies completely normally. And the other mod I've got is so that when the able-bodied person flies it next to me, so when an instructor takes up a disabled flyer in the left-hand seat, we can revert the brakes to completely normal. So there's a valve there that controls the brakes.
So I think we've got a picture of your. I've got a picture of your. I assume this is your Bulldog here, and this is kind of like matching artificial legs.
Do you know what that is?
I do, but you should perhaps tell us.
So I hate him. That's John McFall. He is a surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon. He's a para-athlete. I'm married to a lovely woman with some lovely kids. He's going to be the world's first disabled astronaut. And he landed an aircraft simulator from the very first time, having never flown an aircraft in his life. and he's a lovely bloke. That's why you got to hate him, really. I mean, he's just got the whole thing. And John and I went flying last year in the dog, and yeah, his was from a motorbike injury as well when he was younger over in Thailand. And yeah, it was good fun to take John flying. He's a really lovely guy, and he's over in Germany at the moment, undergoing the training with ESA, the European Space Agency, to be the first guy in space with a disability, which is just wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
So you took him flying, and
yeah.
He wasn't the one you were playing the trick on, going, "Oh, I'm not sure I got the hang of this." Is he?
No. But it's just lovely. I've taken quite a few people now because I'm sure, like you, all you just love sharing the enthusiasm, don't you? I've taken up some very disabled people, and I took up an individual. I won't mention a sex or an age or a name because it'll get into trouble with the mum and dad. It's her mum and dad. Well done, you. But, I said, do you want to do a wing over? And I described her what a wing over was, and I said, don't worry, mum and dad aren't here. And she's yeah. And it's this putting back in. So you're flying with people with all different disabilities. Nobody knows a lockdown better than a disabled person. They're locked down in a wheelchair. They're locked down sometimes in the same room of the same building 24/7. So the freedom that flying brings them is just absolutely wonderful. So yeah, I've been a privilege to fly with a lot of very good, very nice people, and I will say that the aviation community as a whole is fantastically supportive of what we're doing at Airability, and I don't just mean supportive in a military sense, but also understanding and also helping. So there's lots of airfield that give our flyers free landings, and whenever you turn up, they're up to help them with their wheelchairs, and it's just brilliant. It's a great community, really, really, really great.
Absolutely. Talking of which, and just getting another recruitment ad in. I think who was it who taught you to fly? And I believe the guy who taught you to fly might be needing to be replaced fairly soon. Yeah. So there's another Mike. Mike is a very common name at Airability. Apparently, you can't join Airability unless your name is Mike. Mike, yeah. Mike Owen. Yeah, it's a great. Mike is retiring this year. Tomorrow, in fact, is his last day with the charity. Tomorrow. What? Yeah, and last full-time day. He's retiring as the CFI, and we all love Mike. I hope he's not watching because I'm going to really sing his praises now, because he's got a very soft and gentle way of delivering the flying training. And I got into it thinking, how the hell am I going to fly? I've got to have electric trim. I can't manage without electric trim. No, you don't need that rubbish. And the magic of Mike is the way he gets you to rethink the wheel. I've got a different strategy to flying to somebody else who flies with paraplegia, or we've all got different coping strategies. And if you give me a rollicking once when I was flying, because you came into land at Cardiff Airport and I was about 5 foot off the deck with a little bit of power left on. And just in the flare, you can imagine I don't flare very well with one hand off the control column down to count the throttle. And you give me a rollicking, he said to me, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And that's as hard as it gets from Mike. But he's retiring tomorrow. And we are on the lookout for someone to replace Mike in the CFI role, and also to be our service delivery director. It's a big job. It's a great job. It's a very rewarding job. So please, if you are interested, there's a link you put up on the screen below there. Please get in touch with us. We need someone to fill Mike's very big shoes. He was the first CFI Airability to send a disabled person solo. And I think he has about 50 qualified pilots in his name now. And you can just imagine the responsibility of sending somebody into the air for the first time with a disability solo. Incredible. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. I've been at Blackbush a few times when he's been teaching, and I've not been in the airplane with him when he's been teaching, but even on the ground, you can just tell he's a very special instructor. He's got a very gentle way about it, and I think we're dealing with people that are very sensitive and have different disabilities and also different challenges in their life, and you've got to be very understanding, very circumspect, very, very patient with people, and he definitely is that. But I can see why he does it. He left a career in the electronics industry with a blue chip company to do what he does. The payback is huge, absolutely huge. It's just wonderful. So what plans have you got for the future then? What's your... So get my instrument rating sorted out. I want to hit 1,000 hours. That's what I want to do. Travel all over Europe. Go mad crazy with my aerobatics.
let's start entering. Is my wife watching? No, I don't think so. I want to start entering aerobatics competitions as well. because motorbikes aren't dangerous enough. And that's my real thing. I really love doing that. So, and of course, the most important thing is doing as much as I can with their ability. Who knows? Maybe instructing one day, that would be a real great goal for me.
There's a couple of comments in the comments. Funnily enough, Paul McDermott said, should have said, he said, I don't have when you talked about the Cherokee 6, he said, I don't have a Lance to sell, but I very happily join in activities with the Lance that I have. Is there an opportunity for people to assist in any way?
Absolutely. Just get in touch with us at Airability. I'm happy if you pass my email out. You should have my email for people to get in touch with me directly. That would be really great. Yeah, wonderful. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. The support is just fantastic.
Yeah, and another one, Mike Roberts, who's I know is an aircraft engineer who used to be with the LAA. He said, if you need help with your mod application for your Bulldog throttle,
superb.
He's your man.
Superb. Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, no, absolutely. So how long have you had the Bulldog now? 2018, 2019?
So I bought it. I went over to Australia in January of 2020, and I finally got to fly it myself at the beginning of 2022. I had to go solo in it because my medical says, reasonably so, I think, that unlike you guys, every aircraft I solo in, I've got to have a medical flight test in. And I don't know if you're aware of the medical flight test, but basically it's to show that you're safe enough, not able, but safe enough to fly the aircraft. Obviously, with the right hand working, if I'm flying something with a throttle on the left hand side, that might make it a bit of a challenge. So for every aircraft that I fly, I've got to do a check ride in it. So Bulldog, also I put a brand new, she's listening again, a brand new engine in it, and avionics as well. And that engine needed 50 hours of running in before I could start doing sort of PFLs, circuits, and really hammering the engine normally. So it was a lot of hours with Mike Owen. Flew over to France a couple of times and back flying in circles, all this sort of stuff. And then it was in 2022 that I went solo in it. I think I did about 40 hours ago. So, not bored with it, but you just want to do other things, don't you? Just rather than just going flying straight and level,
So do you think that's going to be your forever aeroplane, the Bulldog?
Oh yeah, for sure, without a doubt. There's a gentleman that did the flight testing for me by the name of Paul Shenton. I'm going to name check him now. And have you met Shent? Are you aware of? Yeah. So this is my logic, right? Here we go. He can fly a Warrior because he instructs up at Tour Western Flying Club, and also he test flew the prototype Bulldog. So I thought, well, if he can fly a Warrior and he can fly the Pup, then he can test fly my plane as well. And didn't know the whole back catalogue of stuff that Paul had flown. And he took the plane up, tested it, put it to his base, and even he said when he because he flew it operationally in the RAF along with the Tornado F3 and the Battle Memorial flight and all that. And he said that if he had one plane, if he could only choose one plane, it would be the Bulldog. And I think that's absolutely right, because it does pretty much everything I want to do. I must admit, I've got an itch that I need to scratch, and that's fabric biplane, Stomp, something like that, or Tiger Moth, or probably a Stomp. But certainly that would be a group purchase, whereas the Bulldog is just going to stay with me for a long, long time, I think. And it's one of the youngest in the world in terms of its fatigue index as well, if not the youngest in the world. So we reckon we've got about 70 years worth of heavy aerobatics in it. So I'm a customer. I'm not the owner. I won't be around. No, absolutely.
Basil asked the question. He said, "Hi Neil, what type would you love to see or love to fly or see modified for airability one day?"
Hi Basil. I know Basil very well. He's a great chap. Just behind me here, there's a painting that he did for our ball. He's a very, very talented artist. 3 years ago, and I bid on that in the auction and won it. So of a Bulldog, of Airability's first Bulldog, which was Deezer, which is up in the Orkneys at the moment. Basil, great question. The challenge we have as a charity is, and we've been through this process so many times, what aircraft works really well for us. And unlimited budget, it's the dream ticket. And we can't have anything with struts because you can't transfer out of a wheelchair with a strut in the way. So it's got to be a strutless aircraft. So by definition, unless it's a very expensive Cessna without any struts, you're going to have a low-wing aircraft. It's got to be metal. By the time you go down the route, it comes back to the Warrior and the Cherokee every time. You got a big door that you can get in. I would say for some of the display, that's the only weakness, is the fact that you've only got one way of ingress and egress. So if there's a two-seater, two-doored Warrior out there that would fit that bill, we'd love to have that. That would be the ideal thing for us.
Fantastic.
And the P-52, the Cherokee is great for us because it allows us to take a hoist in the back, so we can fold a hoist, stick it in the back, and then we can fly it to places to spread the love. Because the biggest challenge we have is, we're in 2 bases at the moment. We are expanding that, but it's getting to the other areas, getting to the other pieces, and that's where the P-52 is very good for us. So, sorry, Basil, I know you probably thought I was going to say something like a Sea Fury or a Spitfire or something like that, but it's back to Piper's best, unfortunately.
And finally, Mike Roberts asked the question: how's the Zen Air that you're building coming along?
The Zen Air CH-30, the Build a Dream project. So every time I talk about this, I'm usually in front of people that I say to them, do you know what a Zen Air CH-750 looks like? And they say, they've never heard of it, because a lot of people haven't. I said, well, have you heard of a Spitfire? And they say, yeah. I said, well, it doesn't look a bit like a Spitfire. So for those of you who don't, it's a high-wing Tundra aircraft from the States. It's very, what I would call brutalist in its design, but it's a wonderful bit of kit. And we've been ably supported by a company called Metal Seagulls, who are based over in Hampford West. And it's a kit build project that we bought off them. And the idea is, and still is, to build the aircraft using disabled people to build it from kit. It's standing on its legs, its wings are on, the engine's on, cowl's done, the avionics sparked up for the first time last week. And yeah, it's 90% done, 90% left to do. It's coming along very, very well. COVID gave us a big problem as well there, because obviously we couldn't work together for almost 2 years, because you got to bear in mind a lot of our volunteers are very clinically vulnerable, more so than the average population. So it's coming along very well though, and we want to have it flying at Farnborough next July. That's the target.
Yeah. I was at a party at Blackbush last week, and I saw that in the hangar, and it looked like it was coming along quite nicely. Lots of signatures on it and stuff.
It's a great plane. It's a great plane.
Yeah, but I like the description of a brutalist design. Meaning its mother probably thinks it's pretty.
Yeah, that's right. But I got a big secret love in the Fiesler Storch, and you can see where the design keys have come from there. And if you look at the stab at the back of this, it's just an upside down Clark Y aerofoil. There's nothing subtle or sophisticated about it, but it'll stall at about 30 knots. And you see these, the spot competitions that they do in the States, and they're flying into like 40-mile-an-hour winds. You see these things just hovering there. So it's an incredible bit of kit. But because of that, we've been able to mod it. So we've got a rudder bar. Paradoxically, where the control column will normally go, and where the rudder bar will go, it flies on a Y stick in the middle. And we're working with the LAA for various mods on that, including PTT trim and even future throttle control here on the stick as well, so that one-armed bandits like myself can also fly it.
Brilliant. Well, Neil, thank you very much for joining us. We're out of time. We've run over by about 5 minutes, so that's all right. Not your fault. It's our fault. Thank you very, very much. Hugely appreciated. Don't forget, everyone out there, if you've got a Cherokee 6 or you know one for sale, get in touch with Airability. If you think that you are up for filling Mike Owen's boots, then let them know. A very special job, but hugely rewarding, as I said. And anything else you want to help with Airability, then they will help you help them. They're the incredible organisation run by some really fantastic people. So thank you very much. So Neil.
Mike. Yeah, it's a standard name at Airability. Mike. Good night, Bruce. Mike.
Mike, thank you very much.
No, thank you, guys.
I hope to see you in your Bulldog sometime soon.
Look forward to it. Take care, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
So it must be time.
lots of. Oh, you're big. There we go. Let's make you small. There we go. Excellent, great guest, excellent interview, top stuff. Yeah, I'm great guest, and your ability seems to create people who are so full of positivity, and it's fantastic to see them flying. So
it's a very special place.
Yes, brilliant. So Fancy Hangar this week, after seeing the TBM Eco Pulse take its first flight, we thought we'd go looking for odd concept aeroplanes for our Fancy Hangars. So who's first?
I'm going to go first this week. Make it quick, move things along, set the pace. I haven't seen this very aircraft, but I've seen another aircraft, or the front of another aircraft that was used for the same purpose in Purdue University, where they had a program doing the same thing. Basically, have you heard of Stratovision?
No.
Hands up, you've heard of Stratovision?
I'd say nobody has.
Stratovision, look at this. There you go. B-29 flying around, aerial, downloading crap TV to as many people who want to see it in America.
So before there was cable TV, there was bomber TV then.
It was bomber TV, yeah. I mean, I think this was kind of like a kind of proof of concept, which is why I picked it, and it went on to some more normal aircraft rather than B-29s. But there you go. Clearly that aerial retracted for takeoff and landing. It would have undoubtedly broken off. But there you go. That's I quite fancy. The only problem is you kind of need to have it hanging for the ceiling to have that deployed in my fantasy hangar. Because if it was just like tucked away, it'd be a bit dull.
It would be a talking point for sure.
Yeah, we could like broadcast the flyer live stream for it. It could like fly over. No, right.
Definitely an idea.
Who's next?
I think Dave should go next.
Dave.
Right. Well, mine is what's called the HP-80, Handy Page 80. And when this aircraft came out and started flying, the RAF was still flying Lancasters. This came out in 1952. This came along. You compare this to the Lancaster that the RAF is still flying, and it's just fabulous. It's more than a concept airplane. It's a concept airplane that came through and made it into production as the Handy Page Victor. There it is, a Victor. It's still a fabulous looking airplane, I think. Best bomber ever, except the Vulcan was the one that actually went into service because it was a better airplane.
Other than that,
apart from that, I think you should. I think you should go.
I'll go next. I picked this, the Fairchild VZ5, which in a weird way has some of the vibes of the TBM Eco Pulse. This was basically a STOL project. And the unusual aspect of this was that it had one turbine engine in the fuselage, and that turbine engine drove all of the motors that you can see over this thing. So it had four big motors with props. It had two small four-bladed tail rotors up on that tailplane, and it had enormous flaps. There should be a photo there. So this thing could pretty much take off vertically from a standstill. So I just think this is cool. They flew it in a tethered. It flew tethered, and this is back in 1959. But there was limited testing, and then they abandoned the project. But I think in true Fancy Hangar style, that would have people going, "What the hell?" when you walk into it.
I have a question.
No one wins a flap game, do they? Like that.
No. I have a different question that's kind of. So I'm assuming that the pilot sat in this open cockpit.
Yes. Yeah.
And how far away from the pilot's shoulders or hands were those props?
Yeah. The props are quite close, so you probably did feel quite vulnerable, and probably you wouldn't want to wave your arms around, would you? In that.
I mean,
and also, it was supposedly going to be quite fast. I mean, this thing was 140 knots. So it's I think it's one of those airplanes that if you had waved at your friends, your arm would have gone, and
it didn't catch on, did it?
And then be chopped off.
Yeah, unbelievable. Annabelle, that just leaves you.
Yeah, save the best for last.
Russ pronounces, Ed does not win today.
So I have gone for the, excuse the pronunciation, the Curtis Goupil duck. So this was designed by a chap called Alexander Goupil in 1883. And as you can see from the picture, He wanted to replicate the body and wings of a bird, and this design included elevons. So in 1917, Glenn Curtiss built it to try and prove that the Wright brothers did not have a monopoly on lateral control through wing warping. So basically, this aeroplane is the child of some willy waving. It was first flown as a seaplane. And it was intended.
Oh dear.
Excuse this interlude. We appear to have lost Johnny.
Yes. Standby Johnny is failing.
So, why don't people like the B-29? I don't understand that. It's a lovely aeroplane.
I'm not sure. Oh, Dan Smith is in it for Annabelle. Annabelle wins.
Oh.
But there is a Dave wins at last.
Dave, yeah. I think it's a strong showing from Dave this weekend.
Oh, I don't know. There's a few that Annabelle's in it.
What I didn't manage to mention is this should have been powered by a steam engine.
I would have loved that. But
are you sure that wasn't a film prop of some kind for like a Bang Bang prequel or something?
How rude.
Well, yeah, it looks a little bit like that. It is absolutely nuts. Right. So who are we going to award that winning to then? Is it not the usual Ed wins this week?
It is definitely not. It does look like it might be Dave.
Yes.
Dave, with his very conventional Victor.
Well done,
It wasn't
Dave.
conventional when it came out. Outrageous.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, certainly Annabelle had a surprise there for everybody. So
Certainly did. Right, Dave, have we got any what are they called? Events. That'll be it. Any events coming up?
Yes. Well, there's not really. No, there's not very much coming up.
Well, that's easy then.
Sorry.
Okay.
I lost. Anyway, there's a couple of fly-ins on New Year's Day to look forward to. One at Bodmin and another one just announced this week at Slape. So a couple of there to look forward to.
I think Annabelle's been chopping up onions or something.
Yeah. Can we get a refund on our Annabelle? She appears to be faulty.
This one's leaking.
Yeah. Is there a switch for that?
Right, on that base, I think all that remains to be said is thank you very much for joining us. If you've got a Cherokee 6 for sale at Airability now, if you want to be the CFI at Airability, be Airability. Just get in touch with them and go and get a job. Annabella was a big... Yes. Right. On that basis, I think we need to go. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Probably good weekend for polishing aircraft in hangars rather than anything else.
I think so.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.